Hey there, everybody. My name is Amanugai, Virtual Hypnotist, helping you to transform your gaming experience and life to the next level with immersive hypnosis. And in this video, I'm gonna basically answer the question: how do I know if I'm being hypnotized? For some people, it can be something that's a little bit more obvious, where they feel a big physical shift and they're like, "Whoa, man, I really was hypnotized." And others are like, "What's going on?" So I'll kind of answer the most common kind of cases where someone might not feel like they're being hypnotized, and then cases where most people might be hypnotized, but they don't understand what exactly happens during that. So basically, if you haven't checked out the welcome channel video, highly suggest you do so. It's gonna be like right up here on this side. But other than that, for this video, we're just gonna answer how do I know if I'm hypnotized. So I'm going to show the two main edge cases. Is one where someone is really, really hypnotizable. And for those kinds of people, it can be actually fairly difficult for them to figure out if they're being hypnotized or not. Because what they feel in the trance state and in regular state is basically the same. They don't notice anything on the outside, but if you were to go ahead and give them a suggestion, they will act upon it most of the time. And they won't even notice a clue for the most part. As for the other side, again, it's like the same extreme. People who are very hard to hypnotize or otherwise have a difficult time hypnotizing with normal methods, and of course they're not going to be able to experience hypnosis in quite exactly the same way. But this is more for the people in the middle, where it might just be a little bit more unclear. And the way I'll describe it is in kind of two parts. When it comes to trance, it's more like about the level of engagement and how absorbed you are into the experience. I use movies as a common example, but let me go into more detail. When you're watching a movie, and watching a good movie, like a movie that really draws you into the action, when you're sitting there, you are not paying attention to the fact that your butt's on a seat. You're not paying attention to every single popcorn that you're popping into your mouth as you're watching the movie. You're not consciously aware of these things, because where your mind is not where you're sitting. It's not at the screen. It's what's going on inside the screen, what's inside the movie. You feel like you're part of the action. You feel like you're part of the stakes of the drama, and the acting and the directing is so good that, well, the movie's doing its job. You are experiencing the story as intended, and you are basically blocking out everything else solely just to experience that movie in high mental fidelity. But on the opposite case, where a movie is poorly directed, poorly acted out, there's bad effects, or things are just so glaring it just shakes you out, it breaks what's called the suspension of disbelief. You cannot pull away from the fact that you're sitting in a chair, that you're possibly wasting your time watching this movie, that you're just staring at a screen and what's in that screen is not fun. And suddenly you're looking for the exit door. You're like, why am I even here? Why did I spend the money? So that's sort of like what good hypnosis and bad hypnosis is. Good hypnosis, it feels like you're watching a movie. You're engaged, everything is going smoothly, and you're just forgetting about everything else except for the hypnotist, the suggestions, and how those suggestions make you feel. But with bad hypnosis, or without any hypnosis at all, you're just sitting there, maybe just having a plain conversation, or you're just uninterested, you're disengaged in the conversation, and maybe you're suddenly, once again, looking for the exit door. So that's kind of like the state between what's in trance and what's not in trance. And now, another big question I get oftentimes is, well, other people, like the people on stage shows, they're able to get on there and be able to do all sorts of wild things. But if I get on there and the hypnotist tells me to do things, well, I don't budge. It's like, what's up with that? Well, here's a simple thing. For those people who are on stage shows, they're often like the top 5 to 10% of suggestibles. They are extremely good at taking hypnotic suggestion and acting upon that. And that's pretty much all there is. They have a lower subconscious barrier between hypnotic suggestion and subconscious action. The cool thing is that you can get to that level too, or to a level that's very close to it. And all it takes is just practice. And it may feel like faking it till you're making it, but it's sort of the way it works. Just like any skill that you practice, whether it's swinging a bat, writing a novel, or doing art and drawing, the better and better you get at it, the more and more connections are made in your mind that make that action smoother and smoother, like a habit. You don't have to think about tying your shoes. You don't have to think about brushing your teeth. You don't go up, down, up, down, up, down, up. You're not thinking about every single movement. At least I hope you got brushing your teeth down. But in any case, it's pretty straightforward. And that's the same thing when it comes to following hypnotic suggestions. Sure, you may have to force yourself to think, okay, arm is stiff. And you may have to put a little bit more effort and thought into making that arm stiff and holding it out there. But the more and more you go along with the visualizations, go along with the suggestion, the more and more your mind will get used to following along with that and enacting it. And slowly moves from consciousness to subconsciousness. And suddenly you don't have to think about it as hard, and easier it becomes. Sort of like riding a bike. Again, all those people on the stage shows who are really good at taking those suggestions in, they're able to just vroom, they just go flying with the bike, doing cartwheels, popping wheelies. They got it down. But for you, you might need training wheels. You might need to go and you might fall down and you might need to go in again. But slowly but surely, you can stay balanced on that bike longer and longer and longer until one day you don't have to think about keeping your balance anymore. The same thing with hypnotic suggestion. So, I hope those examples answers your questions on what does it feel like to be hypnotized and what is involved with actually following suggestion in that state of mind. And if you have any more questions, you can always write it down in the comments below, and I'll do my best to answer them, either in the comments directly or in a future video. Anyways, hope to see you again next time. Bye-bye.